Hello everyone, welcome to this week's episode of Pauper Ponderings. My name is Austin, and again, this is exclusively on the Manabase, www.themanabase.com. Make sure you check us out online. We have everything from Cube to Pauper to Competitive Commander to Regular Commander to Altering. Basically anything you could ever ask for as a Magic player. www.themanabase.com. And make sure to like, share, and subscribe to this video if you enjoy it. I do appreciate it. We just got to 500 likes, so we'll be giving something away. Again, if we can get to 1,000 likes, I'll be giving something away again, so I really appreciate it, guys. This week, we are playing Red-Green Defenders. So I've played some ramp decks in the past. They've all kind of centered around Tron, though. This deck does not have Tron in it. It is just Forest, Mountains, and 4 Rugged Highlands. And what we're doing is we're utilizing the cards Overgrown Battlement, which is 1 and a green for a 0/4 defender that adds a green, that taps to add a green for each defender I control, and Axebane Guardian, which is 2 and a green for an 0/3 defender, and I can tap to add X mana to my mana pool, and any combination equals the number of defenders I control. So this is kind of the core of the deck. These two guys, they're really going to be the backbone of our ramp strategy. And they're going to be facilitated by 4 Uvenwald Captives. It doesn't look like a defender, but I guess he's kind of entangled in these vines here. He taps to add a green, and then he can turn into Uvenwald Abomination, which is just kind of a nice way to use our mana in the late game. We have 4 Wall of Roots. Again, just a great ramp spell. Good wall. And then 4 Tinder Walls, which are kind of like a, let's say, Storm kind of a spell. They're able to get us mana the turn they come into play if we want. But they just sit there as an 0/3 and they give us a good turn 1 play if we don't have anything else. In terms of ramp, we do get pretty fast, especially if we get to cast an Overgrown Battlement very early. Overgrown Battlement is Axebane Guardian, and on turn 4 you can cast an Ulamog's Crusher, which is pretty busted. In terms of, we have 3 Commune with Natures. They're going to help us find our various walls as well as our win conditions, which we'll talk about in a second. And this art is just ridiculous. I remember I played this card in Green-White Soldiers, and I didn't know that this Champions art existed. Look at this. This is drawn with like a pencil crayon. It's definitely going on the ugly list. To keep us alive in the mid-game, we have 2 Firebolts and then 2 Rolling Thunders, which are very good not only in the early game and the mid-game, but also in the late game, because we, like Tron, we can just end up burning them out. Our win conditions, we have 3 Vent Sentinels, which combo very well with our defenders, as they're going to tap to deal damage to a player equal to the number of creatures with defender I control. So yeah, this is going to be, if a board gets stalled out, we have a lot of toughness on the battlefield. We'll be able to just start taking chunks out of their love total pretty quick. We also have Ulamog's Crusher, probably the premier big threat in the format. Annihilator 2, very, very powerful. If you can get this guy out on turn 4 against some decks that just don't have a lot of removal, it's really going to do a number on them and really put them under the gun. And then for kind of the grindier games, we have Auroch's Herd. So this is 5 and a green for a 4/4 with Trample, and when he comes into play, you can search your library for another Aurochs. So he's going to act kind of like a self-assembler. We played that mono red deck not too long ago that was a kind of a Tron. It was big red with Tron in it. And our main game plan was to continue to play self-assemblers. And this kind of fills that same role. But this card is just a little bit better than the self-assembler, as it's a 4/4, it has Trample, and then it gets better and bigger when it attacks with other Aurochs. So yeah, I think this is pretty sweet. It's a pretty tight list. Again, a lot of 4-ofs here. We're kind of doing this, trying to do the same thing every game, which is ramp with our walls, and then start casting really big spells, or just kind of drain them with Vent Sentinel. Played some practice games that seemed pretty fun, and I think you guys will enjoy it. If we just want to move to the sideboard really quickly, we have 2 Gleeful Sabotages, which again, just a good card against Affinity. 2 Electrickeries. If I'm playing red, I'm playing Electrickery in this format. That's the bottom line. We have 3 Serene Hearts if we come up against Boggles, because screw Boggles. We have 2 Claws of Wirewood for any sort of Delver deck, any deck that's going to utilize flyers, because we gum up the ground very well. It's the air that we have trouble with, and Claws of Wirewood is a good way to stop that. 3 Pyroblasts, pretty standard in a red deck. 1 Stagger Shock for the kind of grindier matchups against like Kuldotha Jeskai and that kind of thing. They're going to be a good job of killing 2 of their guys for one of our cards. And then we have 2 Relic of Progenitus. So Just a good card. We played Damned Cycling last week, and we found that a lot of people just don't have sideboard hate for the graveyard, and having just a little bit somewhere is always okay, I think. And Relic is just a good card. It's going to cycle if we need to bring a card in against a deck that we're kind of weak against, or if we need something to bring in, it's just going to cycle, and it's usually okay. So, yeah, guys, thanks for watching. I'll be back for round number 1 in just a little bit. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to this video. Thank you for watching. My name is Austin, and this is Pauper Ponderings exclusively on the Mana Base.